teachers using it. Why would I need a district license? So, and speaking to like the ability to like remove content and things like that. So that might be helpful too.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely. And I've prepared a document for you with all of this information in.
You're so good. And what is your title? Like how do you want me to introduce you?
I'm a director of education, community, and partnerships. So it's really the education community bit is just like together because it's, and I'm really happy to explain to everyone what I'm doing as well. So
perfect. It just came up live on the YouTube channel and content and things like that. So that might be helpful too.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. And I've prepared a document.
So should I have two screens open, like the YouTube video or the YouTube, or just this?
Just this is fine.
Okay. This is amazing.
It's very cool. So we've got 3 people joined us. So if you are joining us now, do say hello in the chat. And we'll keep this the chat open so that we can answer questions, and that'd be great. So the reason it's nice to do this rather than a Hangout is because I just like using it because it's quite fancy. And Hangouts, I think people can get worried about if they're muted or their cameras, and this is a nice resource. But if we were having a meeting, I'd probably use Hangouts. But for webinars, I just find this a lot cleaner.
Awesome.
So yeah, if you are joining us, it'd be lovely if you could say hi in the chat. And Maggie, just so you're aware, we have private chat too. There's a private chat option.
I'm noticing that. Very nice.
Yeah, so you can always ping me.
That's so convenient.
How many people do you think are going to be joining us?
Probably 6 or 7.
Fantastic. And I can stay as long as you like, but it is a really nice sunny evening here. It's absolutely gorgeous.
You need to enjoy it.
I might go and enjoy it. I might put my trainers on and go for a run.
You should definitely do that. So, Laura,
hey, Laura. Nice to meet you. And you might want to put where you are as well. Hi. Oh, hi, Gail, a fellow Brit. Fantastic. Nice to meet you, Gail. I'm up in Scotland, but I'm actually from the south coast of England. That's probably my screen going a bit darker when the cloud goes in front of the sun.
And Laura's our consultant in Alabama.
Wow. I'd love to go to Alabama.
Love it.
This is where I get real envy, and I just love being in the States.
Oh,
it's amazing.
You should come visit.
I will do. When this is all over, I would love to come and visit. I'd like to come and visit El Michelle and Tallahassee.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and then come and see you guys in Georgia.
Oh,
not quite sure what's happening, Sterling. Must be on your device, maybe.
Sterling, you have audio in that you can hear us, but I don't believe he can.
Okay.
That's
no. But you can ask questions in the chat. Yeah, it's not like a meet. This is a YouTube live webinar. It's actually a StreamYard webinar.
Cool. So if you're here from PowerUp, if you'll just like type in hey, or let us know who all's here so we can know when to get started. We got Laura, Gail, and Sterling.
And where is Sterling?
Sterling, where are you today? He's in Marietta, but in Georgia, but
fantastic.
I don't know if he's in the office or he has a farm too.
So we've just had word that our schools are going to start to transition back. I can tell by your accent. You're in FL. Is that Fort Lauderdale or Florida? Florida. Right. You're from Clitheroe, Lancashire. Yeah, I'm not a northern girl. I'm a southern girl, but I'm up in the very north of Scotland right now. And I've been here for about 16 years now. It's home. Very much home. It's beautiful. Right. I think we'll make a start because there's 5 people on and I don't want to waste anyone's precious time. So over to you, Maggie, if you just want to introduce. And
yeah. So, you guys, we met yesterday and kind of did a really brief look at ThingLink, and we kind of talked about where it fits into the work that we're doing. So Louise is here today, and I'll let Louise kind of do an introduction. She is awesome, and she leads the work of their education side. So today, Louise is going to kind of go through ThingLink with us. She's going to speak more to those strategic conversations that we spoke about a little bit yesterday, and just going to give us some higher level insight into ThingLink and how it fits into Class VR and Microsoft and all of the competing things that we've got right now. So I see that a lot of you guys are adding in chat. So feel free to chat, put a question in the chat. Yeah. We'll be able to see that, and we'll kind of be monitoring it as we go.
Yeah, absolutely. And you'll notice I've just put a link in the chat if you want to cut and paste that into another tab. So I've put together a document of all of the examples that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So you can just go in there. Also in that document is a link to a Google Drive folder where there's lots of icons and images, and you can use any of those. And the other thing that I just wanted to say is that the slides that I'm going to be using today, I'm also going to share with you. And all you need to do is go File and create your own copy. And I'm really happy if you want to put your own name to them and completely co-brand them. I'm not precious about anything that I create. You know, you can take it, edit, iterate, make it your own. So please, you know, feel that there's a lot of support here for you. And if you ever think there's anything missing, you can just let us know and we'll work to create that as well. So I'm going to, I don't want to say this, I'm going to remove you, Maggie, from the screen. And I'm going to share my screen now. So you'll all be able to see this, hopefully. So I'm going to make this big, and then I'm going to go back to my tab here, and I'm going to click present. And I'll stop and come back to the questions as well. So I think some of you will know a little bit about ThingLink, but so I'm not going to go into everything in great detail, but I'm going to give you the information that I think is going to be really relevant for you. So ThingLink's been around about 10 years. It's a very mature ed tech tool. You know, it's not something that's just been whipped up. And we are a Microsoft Gold partner, and that's really relevant because I know that you're working a lot with schools and districts that are kind of either going Microsoft or they're kind of G Suite, but we play nicely with everything, which is just a great place to be. But we are a Microsoft Gold partner, and being a partner with Microsoft brings lots of benefits in that we have Immersive Reader, which is Microsoft's accessibility tool embedded into ThingLink, and I'll show you what that looks like. But it is probably the leading accessibility tool, and I have a background in inclusion and accessibility, and I just think it's outstanding. But we also are Teams app. So when you're in Teams, you can click on apps, and there's a ThingLink app there. Now, the other exciting piece of news that goes along with our Microsoft partner status is that we have a course that's going to drop hopefully next week in the Microsoft Education Center, and that is a 500 pointer. It's a Welcome to ThingLink course, and this is great because you guys know that the kind of people who just lap up those badges will go, and the influencers and the people that really want to get their teeth into it, and then that really helps to grow awareness in the school or the district, where there will always be teachers who want that kind of face-to-face, that hand-holding and that other support, which they deserve. But yeah, so that's the Microsoft side of things. And then with Google, we are a Google for Education partner, and that was announced earlier on this year. And the integrations are with Google Classroom. So with your ThingLink, you can share it to your classroom and you can set an assignment. And we are also part of the Google Chromebook App Hub. And we also feature on, actually for both of them, we feature on their distance learning resources from COVID. So just another little story for you there. You see we won the UNESCO ICT in Education Prize, and that was because of the work where ThingLink was being used for remote learning and teaching, and a way of helping young women to develop entrepreneurial skills across 7 schools in Saudi Arabia. And of course, you know, it was quite difficult for young women to get into education. So ThingLink was a really good way of being able to engage young women. So ThingLink, a visual learning solution for schools and workplaces. Now, on the slides that I share with you, this is actually a really nice What is ThingLink video. Now, what you could do is ask me for the raw video, and you could upload that into your own ThingLink, and you could turn it into a ThingLink and put your own brand and your own hotspots on as well. Very happy for you to do that. So ThingLink offers a really super simple way for teachers, lecturers, people in charge of work-based learning, staff development, even like advertisers. So people like Asda and Walmart and Woolies and Best Buy, they use ThingLink, and they might use it for marketing and editorial or on a website, so you can look in a room and decide what to buy, or they might use it to show their staff how the shelves need to be stacked. That's an example from Best Buy. And with ThingLink, you can upload an image, you can upload a video, you can upload a 360 image or a 360 video directly into ThingLink, and then you can put all of these interactive hotspots where you can upload other images, text, media, any kind of combination of those, and embed other tools as well. And we'll have a look at what that looks like. As I mentioned, it is quite mature. It's used by 30 million people globally each month. And that's people that are kind of viewing the ThingLinks. We have 7 million active users, which is really impressive. We're a small team. In the team, Ula and I are the only women. There's 12 other guys who form part of the team, and we're a very happy bunch. And we're located in California, in Palo Alto. I'm in Scotland, and then I have a colleague in Finland and some of our dev team in Russia too. So a little bit about the history, and these are all really, really nice points for you to remember, is that there's a real sound education theory base behind ThingLink. Ula, who is the founder, has written a really nice post, which is on that document that I shared with you at the top, about the history of ThingLink. And, you know, it was born out of education theory that Vygotsky, who's part of that history and the paradigms of education, came up with a theory that our cognitive skills develop through interactions with our environments, and that could be physical or virtual. So it has got a really sound education platform, sound education theory. Now, on to ThingLink itself. Now, this is nice for you to know as well, that it works across all of your devices and it works across your browsers. I'm on a Chromebook today. I just love the ease of my Chromebook, but I also have a Mac, and it works beautifully on my Mac. It works on a PC. I will be really upfront and honest with you and say that we do have an iPad app, but it's not very good. And it's not often you hear someone say that about the company they're working for, but we know it's not very good. But however, and I'm doing a webinar with Apple in a couple of weeks, the accessing ThingLink on the browser on an iPad is great. It brings additional functionality, because if I'm in the browser like I am now on my Chromebook or PC or Mac, you have to upload your images. But with the browser version of ThingLink, just go to thinglink.com on your iPad browser. It gives you the option to take an image because it hooks into the device's camera. So that works beautifully as well. We are working on the iPad app, so it will be revamped in the future, but it's not one of our priorities at the moment, because the browser access of ThingLink on an iPad is just fantastic. And of course, as you can see from the little icon at the bottom, we work with VR. So you can create your ThingLinks, the 360 versions, and that will work in your Google Cardboard, it will work on Oculus, and it will also work with Class VR, who we are a partner with as well. And as by magic, that takes me into the next slide, where you can see that we are a strategic partner, which means that teachers can create their 360 ThingLinks and push them out onto the headsets. Now, I'm just going to stop there, because I'm just going to come back to and see if there's any questions. Yeah, any questions that you want me to? I love the fact that Jerry thinks there's women power. Absolutely. Any other questions? Anything, Maggie? Oh, Maggie's not there. Oh, yes, you are. Anything you wanted to add, Maggie? Just as I did a little intro there, I just think it's nice to stop and just make sure that everyone's kind of got any questions, or...
No, and I wanted to just point out, I took a picture of this quote till we could get it that was on the screen that you put from Ula, just about our cognitive skills developing in our interactions with our environment, whether or not in the physical or virtual space. And so I think that speaks to what Jerry said, is the future of education or learning is where you are. So I think that really kind of brings that point home.
Definitely. And, you know, what I'd like everyone on the call to think about is, you know, we went into lockdown like that. Things changed for kids, like in a second, in a heartbeat. The process of that coming back is not going to be like that. It's going to take a long gradual time to kind of get back to, it probably won't ever get back to what it was now. And you think about how visual learning solutions and what that can bring to education in the future, where we might be using social distancing measures. So, for example, being able to use the outdoor learning a little bit more, maybe, or a part-time timetable or a curriculum, where a school is where we come together to learn about love and relationships and interaction with our teachers and colleagues. And a lot of the other stuff will be pushed out into kind of blended learning opportunities. So I think if we can always just kind of view in our minds, you know, what that might look like for the future. Right, I'm going to show you some really nice examples now. So this is where I get very, very excited about the things that I'm going to show you. There we go. And I'm just going to remove Maggie from the screen. So hopefully you can see my screen there. Okay. So now this is kind of really exciting for me, because this is actually a little bit of history about how I got involved in ThingLink. So I should have said that my background's education. So for Gail, Gail will know a little bit about how local education authorities work in the UK. I used to work for one called Portsmouth Education Authority, where I was responsible for projects that really tried to keep kids in school that were, you know, disengaging. And then after sort of 20 years, I ended up actually, no, after about 15 years, I ended up specializing in youth culture and what impacts on youth culture, and digital was very much part of that. And I worked to develop and design what the infrastructure in school would look like. And then I went to work for Google, and I was heading up Google for Education in Scotland, and then I went to work for ThingLink. Now, the reason I went to work for ThingLink is because I discovered what ThingLink was, and I'm sure you've come across them. I was at like a conference, and you love the conference, and then you get a sketch note afterwards. And sketch notes are great, but they actually can just feel like a bunch of words. They're not very accessible. That might just be me. But I also found that a lot of inspections that were happening in schools, they were producing a sketch note of the inspection to share with parents and carers. And I was like, well, that's not very accessible either. They're just kind of a bunch of words. So with that in mind, I started looking at tools that schools could use to bring images and particularly kind of infographics or sketch notes to life. And I spoke to Education Scotland, who is the education agency up here, and they put me in touch with a school to develop this idea. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. So here I am. So I'm just going to, so this is a fantastic example that I'm going to show you now. Hopefully, it's not switched over. Let me just share my screen with you again. And that should pick it up. Here we go. There we go. Right, so this is Manor Park Primary. Hopefully you can see that now. And Manor Park had broken down relationships in the school community. And the pupils created this poster to show adults in the school community what their expectations were of their behavior. And this poster's great, but again, it's kind of like words, it's not very accessible. So I worked with them to turn it into a ThingLink. And now the pupils have been able to add in text. And of course, this opens up into immersive reader, which I'm sure you all know about, but it turns it into text, which you can translate into over 80 different languages. And you've also got text to speech built in. So even just with a text label, this made it accessible to parents whose language might not be English. And also it's starting to kind of bring these points to life. And then the pupils worked in small groups. I've not got audio on my tab, but then they started producing videos about what those points meant to them. And now this is shared on the school website, and it's fully interactive. And this is now just become a finalist for a Scottish Education Award for making a difference. And all of these points have little videos in that the pupils have created. And this, of course, can be turned into a QR code. The QR code could be put on the poster as well, so parents and carers in the community can scan it and see what the pupils' points are. And I just loved this. And I started then approaching ThingLink and started working with them to develop some more examples. And I just think that's fantastic. So that was my first example that I wanted to show you. The next one that I'm just going to now show you is all of the different sort of tag types that you can see within a ThingLink. And on the document that I've shared with you, it is on here, and it is other resources about ThingLink, Giant Causeway. And the Giant's Causeway is a really kind of fantastic structure in Ireland. It's on the coast. There's quite a lot of tags in this, so it might just take a second to load. Here we go. So with ThingLink, you can see here that I showed you before, that was just an image, but it could have been a photo, any kind of flat image, JPEG. And now I've uploaded a 360-degree image. And I've added in a selection of tags just to show you what these look like. So if I click on this one, there is a selection of images, and these will play like a carousel. And of course, there's some text here that opens up into immersive reader, and I can also put call to action buttons in. So that is what's called a text and media tag, and it can be any combination of text and JPEGs, GIFs, videos, and some of the ones that I've seen are just fantastic. So for example, I haven't got audio, but this is where someone's created a Memoji video and just uploaded it. So that's the text and media tags. And then, of course, you've got embed tags where you can embed other tools. So here I've embedded a Google form. Equally, you can embed a Microsoft form, and they work beautifully. So already, I'm sure you'll be having kind of light bulb, shiny eyes moments where you're thinking, wow, that means that you've got an assessment tool or mandatory training. So where ThingLink is used for health and safety training, you can ask questions and make sure that people have viewed the content, so it can be used for mandatory training. And all I've done is taken the embed code from Google Forms or Microsoft Forms, but then you can also embed Padlet, and it works beautifully. So this will be an interactive board. So here we go. You can see that I'm just putting in some test ones there, and that will work. And of course, that'll update wherever I'm using Padlet. I've created a scratch animation here, which is, again, it's a really nice kind of educational basic computer programming tool, and there's audio embedded in there, which is me pretending to be the scratch cat, so I'm glad you can't hear that. And then you've got other things like Flipgrid you can embed, and you might think, well, why would you have scratch embedded? But one school tour I've seen is where the pupils have created talking animals that actually tour, show you around the school. So they've got 360 images of the school, and they've got talking camels that actually say hi and welcome to our school in a camel accent, obviously. And then other tools. So here I've got a 3D T-Rex, which I've pulled from Sketchfab, which is a 3D tool which can be used when that loads. So that's an embed tag again. So the ones I'm showing you now are the embed tags. There we go. Super. And other embeds, Adobe Spark plays beautifully. And I've just uploaded an Adobe Spark video in here as well. There you go. So you can see how that works. So all of these tags then are just things that I've created. And what you've probably realized here is that, you know, some of these tags are pretty kind of bog standard. There's obviously a text tag there. And then there are other icons here that I've created. So you can create your own custom icons as well as the ones that are provided by ThingLink. Once I've created my ThingLink, I can then share it by clicking my share button. And this gives me the option to embed this ThingLink directly into another website. And it works beautifully on Google Sites or a school website, WordPress, etc. I can share the link, and I can also publish to social, and that's where I'll push it out to Teams unless I go through the Teams app. And I've also got share to Classroom. And if you push it out to Twitter, it'll actually work interactively on the Twitter as well. And you can download it offline. So this is fantastic for pupils who maybe have limited kind of access, and they might want to download that, and that works for PC and Mac. So that's just a tour of some of the different tags. And of course, the other lovely thing about this ThingLink that I've created is that I can, I'm not actually logged in at the moment, but if I was logged in, you'd see that I could get stats of how many people have viewed it. I'll show you what that looks like when I come back to it. So I'm just going to come back to the StreamYard and see if there's any questions there that anyone wants to have. Jerry, yeah, there does not seem to be many things you cannot embed in a video via ThingLink. Yeah, so Sway works beautifully. Sometimes you find that websites have got a block on them being embedded. I noticed that BBC had that, but yeah, you've got a pretty good range. Anything you can embed, you can pop in there. Anything from you, Maggie?
No, I think that was great. I hope you guys are seeing some examples of what could be made with a ThingLink. It's really powerful.
Yeah, I've got some lovely examples to show you next. So, right, I'll crack on and show you the other nice examples. So with COVID happening, we wanted to look at how we could contribute to the education community. And what we did here from parents and carers was that schools were using YouTube quite a lot, and it was sending kids down this kind of YouTube rabbit warren where they were just ending up all kinds of places, and parents were getting a bit fed up of that. And yeah, they were just kind of like getting a bit concerned about it. Districts didn't want teachers to all create individual YouTube accounts. So what you can do with ThingLink is obviously you can pull YouTube clips into a tag, but what you can also do is if you were wanting to create your own YouTube content, instead of using YouTube, you could upload a video to ThingLink and turn it into a ThingLink and then embed it. So we've lifted our video size to 10 gigabytes. So teachers can upload a 10 gigabyte video to their ThingLink. So it becomes a really sophisticated storage tool. And then you could put your own tags in it as well. So that's been a really nice functionality that teachers have found really useful. So COVID has kind of presented a whole heap of opportunities, and without, I'm not trying to sound mercenary, but it has provided opportunities for teachers to demonstrate their creativity, which has just been mind-blowing. So I'm going to show you some of the examples that I've seen that have come through, and hopefully they'll inspire you too. So I'm going to go back to my, let me just do that. I'm going to do this now. I'm going to share this one because there's one that I really want to show you, and I want to show you the sound on it too. So if you think about that 360 tour, that idea, here we go. Right, and now I'm going to be able to share my screen, and there we go. Perfect. Right, so hopefully now you can see my screen, yes, and you can see Pennybont Primary School. So Pennybont Primary School is a small-ish primary school in Wales, Bridgend, and what the school wanted to do was they were really worried about their kids losing connection with the school, learning from home. The school's not closed. It's really important to say that the school's not closed. It's just that learning and teaching is happening in different ways. But still, no one expected this to go on as long as it has. And they really wanted to have this culture of connection. And they want their pupils to feel connected to their classroom and their teachers. So they created this 360. So this is a 360 image they've taken. But what you can also do with ThingLink is add tour tags. And a tour tag just takes you to another ThingLink scene. So you've got infinite kind of combinations of what you can do. So this is a tour tag that takes you to another 360. And we'll head on through these doors. And what they've done is that each of the classrooms has got tags and content from the teachers. Here you go. I just love that. I mean, if you think about, the way that teacher wants her pupils to feel connected to their classroom, what it looks like, that's the place they know and love. It's their place and space. And this school, the whole school's done like this, and every classroom has got hidden messages from the teachers. So this example that I'm showing you now has been widely shared on Twitter, and it's inspired educators to start thinking really, really deeply about transition. And, we think about transition as just being going to a new school, but transitions happen in many different parts of the education sector. It might be going back to school, it might be going to a new school, but this is a really lovely way for the teachers to use ThingLink. And it's really given us some lovely feedback from the schools. This was shared on the national news as well, because it was just such a lovely example. And I'm just about to make this up into a case study as well. So I'm sure you'll agree, it's just a super, super example there. Any questions? Did you see that? Okay. No audio. Oh, did you not get audio in the... did you not get audio in your Maggie? Your audio's off. You didn't get the audio. Oh, there was a teacher there, and she was singing in Welsh to her pupils and telling them how much she loved them as well. So it's just fantastic. So the next example that I wanted to show you is, so we've used a 360 image there to create a tour, but one of the other ones that I love is where people are just starting to create virtual classrooms using a PowerPoint slide of an image, and then they download that as a JPEG, and then they're able to upload that into ThingLink as well. So I'm just going to share my screen with you again. There we go. We'll just do the whole tab there. So here you have, and it's on here. So all the examples are on here, so you can go in and explore them. And that is where the teacher here has built like a kind of choice board. It's got lots of different activities. I don't know if you've seen these that are springing up. So this is the teacher's activities. And I know you haven't got sound, but what you will see is when you play these, is that she's made her dog the teacher, and the dog is actually kind of talking to the primary ones as well, which is just lovely, and talking about how to build sentences. So these kinds of things are becoming really, really popular. And I've got heaps of more examples to show you, but I thought that would give you a really nice kind of flavor for what you can do with both the flat images and with 360. And of course, you can use this for 360 video as well. Other ones that I really wanted to show you. So then you kind of progress on up the kind of school, if you like. And here you've got Mr. Kinnear's science lab, and the teacher here couldn't get back into school, but he's got a picture of his science lab, and this has got lots of nice videos of him welcoming you to your science lab as well. And you'll be able to go in and see these. Now, these are really quite professional and quite slick, but actually, you know, a teacher's been able to do this really, really simply and easily. And the next part of this demo, I was going to show you just how easy it is to create a ThingLink as well. There we go. Any questions?
One thing I just wanted to add here is that that choice board that she just showed, where a student could go in and choose the learning elements that they wanted to complete or in the order, that's probably something that we're going to be building into the virtual learning course. So just kind of to give you guys an idea of that practical application.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, it's just super simple. So I think now what I'm going to do is just show you exactly how easy it is to create your own ThingLink. And PowerUpEDU has its own ThingLink organization. So there are 3 different types of accounts with education. So any teacher can sign up and get a free account. And they don't need to enter in any credit card details. They can just go straight onto ThingLink and create a free account. And the other thing you should know about ThingLink is that there are no adverts, there are no big paywalls. The main revenue stream for ThingLink comes from like the e-learning side and marketing and editorial, and actually K-12 is really reasonably priced. But with a free account, you can share and embed those ThingLinks. You get the full functionality, but you can't upload and create and share 360 video because it's just such a huge drain on the, you know, as you can imagine, on the servers. But also you get a limited amount of views. So what that means is that if a teacher creates that ThingLink like that lab and they've got a free account, they only get 1,000 views. A view is like a page load if it's embedded into their LMS. So it's designed to stop abuse. And then when the page views have run out, it will boot them back into ThingLink, and they can view the ThingLink on ThingLink. But of course, there's kind of a banner that will be on it. Now, a teacher can upgrade, and they can do this themselves and get a classroom teacher account, or they can buy that through PowerUpEDU, and that gives them the option to be a teacher, and they can add in 60 students. And that includes a collaborative folder that's for them and all of their students. You can't granular kind of differentiate who has access to that. It's for all your students, and they get 12,000 views. But that is really like saying a teacher's got it's almost like saying, you know, a consumer G Suite account, you know, they're on their own with it essentially. And then you get the organization account, which is really where you want an organization to be. And the reason you want them to be in that organization account is because teachers can start collaborating together, and they can work together as a district on folders. They can share within the organization, so they can keep things, you know, kind of behind a walled garden. They get unlimited views, so they don't have any kind of problems sharing that content in their LMS. You also get administration roles. So say a school has 400 seats, and I set one up yesterday for a school with 400 seats, and that could be 400 students or teachers, and they're like bums on seats because the admin can give a seat to someone and they can take it away as well. So you've got a process as a school or a district to manage your joiners, your movers and your leavers. And that's essential, because what you don't want is teachers using their own personal mail, leaving the establishment, taking all the content with them, interacting with students, you know, on a personal account. It just makes it all part of the organization. And the price differences on our website are that single teacher upgrade is $35, and with COVID, we upped it to 60 students. So they can add 60 students and start interacting with them, creating kind of courses on ThingLink. But with the organization one, it works out $2 a seat, and that is for a student or a teacher. And then, of course, they get all of that admin functionality, all of the comfort that they can give a green light to teachers, that they've done the privacy checks, they know there's no adverts. You can also upload 360 video as well. So for cost-effective purposes, it is actually in the school or district's interest to make sure they have got all of those checks and balances in place, but they've also got that enhanced functionality. Does that help? I think that's one of the things you wanted me to cover. Super. Any other questions before I start doing a little demo just to show you how easy it is? No? Okay. I'm going to share my screen again. And right, I'll put this on big so you can all see it. Right, so I am going to go back into one of my ThingLinks. Oh, here we go. And I'm going to go into my account. So when you go into, I'm just going to log out this one. There we go. Super. So I've logged into my account. It's so easy to create an account. So you just go to thinglink.com/edu, create an account, and then you could maybe use your code that you purchased through PowerUp. Or if you were part of an organization, you can have single sign-on with your G Suite or 365 tenancy. Once you're logged in, you can see that I've got folders. This is like OneDrive or Google Drive. These are all the folders that have been shared with me. And when I log in for the first time, you'll see we have a welcome section, and this has got our own 360 image library. And we have things like the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, places which might be a bit unusual. And then there's some nice examples. The 360 classroom tours are great, you know, particularly thinking around students with accessibility requirements, you know, that ability to be familiar with. ThingLink is also used in the healthcare industry, and I've seen some fantastic examples of 360 content where it's been used for dementia patients to remember how to operate tools in the kitchen or appliances in the kitchen, right the way through to 360 video of a trauma unit, so that that's played through headsets so you can experience that kind of immersive experience. So lots of nice ideas for you to explore there. And then there's My Media, which is the ThingLinks you've created. We have an explore function where you can see other ThingLinks that have been donated through the education community. And you can take inspiration, but what you can also do is clone these. So there's just some, you know, this is one from the Daily Mail that was actually used. And what you're able to do is clone that and make your own copy, which is really useful. Okay. And then we have courses. That's where you can create your own courses. I'm not going to go into that right now. And then you have your school. If you're part of your school, you'll see the users and the groups that you're part of. I've got an admin access, so I've got more access than most, so I can see all of the groups in my school. And then you have your create button. So if I click the create button, which is ever present, you can see I can upload an image, I can upload a video, I can upload a 360-degree image or a 360-degree video. So for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to upload an image. This will take you to your hard drive, and you can see all of the images that I have here. And I have one here of a Scottish castle, which is called Dunnottar. So it's just going to upload that image from my hard drive or my drive up onto ThingLink, and that's where it's stored. It's stored on our servers. And we're an Azure-based organization. We have actually had AWS, but we're moving to Azure. So once it's uploaded, you can see here I can start to add my tags. So I'm going to add my tag, and I can position my tag wherever I want. And then if you'll remember from the Giants Causeway one that I showed you, there are different types of tags. So here I can add one of those text and media tags. I can add a text label, which is a plain text label. I can add content from another website if I wanted to as well. So I'm going to add in a text and media tag, and I can put in a title. So this is Donata Castle. There we go. And I could put in a description, and it's this body of the text, this description text, that is actually the text that opens up in Immersive Reader. So I'm just going to find a little bit of text. Here we go. So Donata Castle is a ruined medieval fortress. There we go. So back in my ThingLink, this one, I'm just going to paste that text in. And here's the text. And as I mentioned, this will open up into Immersive Reader. Just realised I spelled Donata wrong. There we go. And then you can scroll down. You can see I can add in a button URL. So if I wanted to, I could add in a link to the Donata Castle website if I wanted to. So this is a call to action button. And of course, I can change the action. So I might just put click me. There you go. And now here on the left, you can see that I can add in other images or other video, and it's just going to pick things off my hard drive. So just going to pick an image there that I used yesterday. There's a train going past. Sorry, I'm right near a railway line. That's the fast express train from Glasgow to Inverness. And here, see where I've added that image in? I could add in multiple images and they would play like a carousel. I can add GIFs in there. And that's where the teachers uploaded the video of them doing their little speaking thing. And if you're doing this on an iPad, you can actually record yourself directly in there. And it doesn't need to be this combination. It could just be images, it could just be video, or it could be a combination of text and video too. And this is a really nice plus point. I can record audio directly into that tag just by pressing the microphone, and I can speak directly into it as well. So you don't need to hop on over to another EdTech tool or tech tool, but you can upload your audio to through MP3 there. So that's as simple as it gets. But what you can also do here is change your icon. Now we supply hundreds of icons. I just put a love heart there. I can change that to a red love heart. But as I mentioned, you can create your own custom icons, and I created little icons for all of my team. And as this is a castle, I'll put a castle icon type tag there. Click done, and that's it. That's my tag there that's done. And on my settings, I can change the color scheme to be any color scheme that I want. I can set my tags to pulse so they flash and bring the attention to the tags. And I can also upload audio that play throughout the whole ThingLink, like an ambient background. So I could have crashing waves crashing against the base of the castle for this particular ThingLink. Once I've done, I can click down there. And then, of course, you can add in other tags. You can add in as many tags as you like. You've got the add text label, add content from a website, and that's where you could put your YouTube link in, or your embed code from your forms, or Google Maps work brilliantly as well. And again, change the tag icon. And then the last tag, which is what Pennybont Primary School used to create that lovely school tour, was that you've got a tour tag where you can create a tour and you can select any other ThingLinks that you've created. So these are all the other ThingLinks that are on my account. And here I have a health and wellbeing one, which has got hidden tags that I've created for different types of fruits for a health and wellbeing lesson. And I can change that icon into something that looks a bit more like a tour tag. There we go. I'll have a nice big green tour and click done. So that's it. That's how you layer up your tags. It's really super simple to use. And you've got that customization in our roadmap. We're going to be adding things like add your logo to it. And the big kind of development might be about having a chatbot integrated. But we're also working on a question tag. I mean, you could use Google or Microsoft Form, but having our own quick question tag is something that's been asked for. So I'm going to click done, and now I'm done. There you go. That's my lovely Donata Castle ThingLink ready to share with the world. I've got a few more settings. I can select this to be in my organization if I'm working in a school account. I can select this to public. I can select it to be unlisted or private. So I'm going to select this one's public, and I could change the name if I wanted to. Click save. There we go. If I want to go back and edit, just click on the pen. But now I'm ready to share this with the world. And that's as simple as it gets, really. There's not much more that I need to kind of show you than that, really. It's so easy. And the thing to remember is that you saw me upload an image to the editor, but the editor process and functionality is exactly the same if you upload a video, a 360 image, or a 360 video. The same authoring experience for whatever your base media is going to be. And that just gives people lots of joy, because they don't need to go and learn lots of different things for different types of media. The tags on videos you can stretch out, so you have a tag playing for like 30 seconds right across the video or something. And that really is as simple as it gets. It's just such a easy to use tool with lots of possibilities, and we're just really excited to work with PowerUp and see where we take it. Over to you, Maggie.
Sorry. Thank you so much, Louise, for showing this to us today and like talking about those kind of the reasons why this fits in the classroom of the future and how it fits. So I think that was great. Do you guys have any more questions that you could post in the chat? I know I did see a question from Sterling. Do they need an invite code to join our organization?
Yeah, so there are different ways, and I'm really happy to share my screen with you and show you. So what's really nice is, and this is what's happened to me recently, is that I've been working with a number of kind of districts up here, and I work with a district to provide a district account, and we find that lots of teachers have already created free accounts. And this is a really nice way of saying, come and be part of the party, scoop them up, and you literally just give them a code, and they're part of the organization. So they tap in the code where they join a group, and then that's then part of the organization. Manually, we can do things as well. So we can move accounts over or merge schools, and they won't lose any content. It's very, very simple. It's not like, you're giving that person an account and it stays with that person. The seat can be taken back, which is what I'm trying to say, is if you've got people that leave the organization, you haven't spent that seat, as it were. Jerry, in the org account, is there a limit to the number of seats? No. So basically, if you were working, I'm potentially working with one district that's got 40,000 users, because they've got one big tenancy on 365, and they really want to use ThingLink for creating their school development plans. I haven't shown you this, the pupil created content, and it's all on that lovely Google Doc that I created for you. But they really want the students to be able to use ThingLink to share their working out on a diagram, or teachers to be inspired. And yeah, 40,000. So it can be custom. So if you have a customer that wants a organization account, then you get in touch with us, we create it for you, and then your relationship is still with the education organization rather than with us. It all goes through you.
Perfect. Any other questions, you guys? No? Well, thank you so much, Louise, for taking the time to do this with us today, and we really appreciate it.
Oh, no, it's a pleasure. And, I won't be a stranger. And you've got that document there. So, yeah, I'll do that. And, we've just got there's a nice one there of the ideas of things that you can do with demo activities as well. We also have great support. Ivan and our support team is super helpful as well. I'd love to grow some examples. So if any of you have any really nice examples, let Maggie know or let me know, and we'll make them up into a really nice case study. I love doing those case studies. And thanks, Jerry. Thank you too. If you've got any really nice kind of examples, we can put out a joint article about them, showcase what they're doing, because it's just lovely when you see everyone creating
That's awesome.
Brilliant.
We'll get
Okay.
That's great. And we hope you get to enjoy the beautiful evening that you have.
I know. I think I'm going to go and get my trail shoes on and go out for a run. Be healthy.
Awesome.
All right. See you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye.